Today we are celebrating our flag as well as our soldiers. Today actually marks the beginning of Flag Week, which the President has declared. And so this is a wonderful time to recognize the purpose of our flag as well as thanking our soldiers. The parade was absolutely wonderful. I mean, we had the women veterans who actually led the parade this year, which I'm really excited about. They are kind of going to lead the program today because they have really played an integral role, and they will be actually celebrated next week by the First Lady and the Governor. So, I mean, again, it was really nice to have them participate and actually serve as our Grand Marshals in the parade this year. But the parade was really, really nice, and glad to have our Lady Veterans here.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Good afternoon, everyone. You see my face again. I'm Shanta Harrison Proctor. I'm serving today to provide a welcome and greetings, and also serve as a quasi-mistress of ceremonies, celebrating our flag. As many of you know, the American flag is a symbol of freedom. The flag is also a symbol of patriotism, which has been given significance throughout the United States and in our country. Not only that, so much blood has been shed for our ability to freely live in the United States of America and to freely worship and to freely enjoy the things that we tend to take for granted because we are United States citizens. Senator Barrow has been hosting the Flag Day ceremony for over 12 years, and this is the 4th year of having a parade. And I really want to just take time out to applaud our senator and leader for all of her commitment, not only to the flag, but to veterans and to the livelihood of people in this state and in this city. She has remained consistent in her ability to advocate for others, particularly for servicemen and veterans, and for that, I believe that she is well due of the acknowledgement, and I know many, coming from a military family, I also appreciate the honor that's been given. And so I'm thankful for your sacrifice of time. I'm thankful for all of the individuals who have come from the various organizations and military personnel. Thank you for your time here today. And at this time, we're extremely excited to have our very own Congressman Gary Graves here that will provide us with greetings.
Hey, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
First of all, and most importantly, I want to thank Senator Barrow for hosting this event this year and hosting it every year. You know, a lot of times when you think about that flag, you think about our government. some of the initial thoughts that come to people's mind are some of the divisiveness that we're seeing right now. Some of the divisiveness in our city, some of the divisiveness in our state and the state legislature, and some of the divisiveness that we're seeing at the federal level in Washington where I represent y'all. But I want to thank the senator for hosting this, because we need to remember every year, we need to remember all the time why we're here, what we're doing, and what this actually stands for, where we've come from, and why we even have a flag. You know, I think it's important. Let's take a step back and think about it for just a minute.
Yeah.
We separated ourselves from Great Britain. We declared our independence because we wanted to be represented. Remember that taxation without representation. We wanted to be represented. So we declared our independence. And you know what? You know what's amazing? Every time I go back and I read about this, the British had the greatest military in the world. And we said, we're taking you on and we're leaving. Now think about that for just a minute. That's like taking our grade school football team and saying we're taking on the Tigers or we're taking on the Saints. And that's what we did. We took on the best military in the world. We didn't even have a military. We had all these militias. And you know what? They had the best Navy in the world. You know what our Navy looked like? We didn't even have bateaus. It didn't exist. And we took them on because we had such strong, harder feelings that we were right. That we were right to separate, that we were right to have our independence, that we were right to want to be represented instead of being told what to do. And so we fought this war. And yes, we had some help from our friends, the French. We fought this war, and you know what? We won it. Despite the fact that all the odds were stacked against us, despite the fact that we challenged the greatest military in the world, we won. You know what? We were right. We had heart. We had drive. And this flag stands for something. It has the stars that represent the heavens, that represent the fact that we are always striving, that we're always striving for better, that we're always striving to be godlike in terms of acting as though doing what's right and acting as though we're following those rules, those guidelines. The stripes, those represent rays of light, and they're all together. They're different colors. You have the red that represents the valor. You have the white that represents the purity and innocence. And you have the blue that represents the vigilance. Now look, those things are all different. The 50 stars represent what? The 50 states, they're all different. The different colors, they represent different things. So I'm not standing here saying that every single one of us needs to get in line and do every single thing our great mayor tells us to do. But I do think it's important that we listen to her most of the time. No, I do think it's important that we recognize all of the sacrifice that went into this.
Yes, that's right.
And you know what? All those colors are different and the symbols are different, but they're on the same flag. And while we can be different people and have different ideas and different thoughts, we're all first. We're Baton Rougeans, we're Louisianians, we're Americans.
Amen.
And one of the greatest things about the flag is all the different diverse things that are on there and what it represents. But don't forget ever where we came from, how we got this flag, how we became our own nation. And we can fight and struggle and have differences of opinion. But I just strongly urge you, don't ever, ever, ever forget that while things are imperfect here, we have the greatest country in the world.
Yes.
So I want to thank all of our veterans and our military service members, and I think I saw a peacekeeper, law enforcement officer here as well, sheriff's deputy. Thank you all for allowing us to continue to be free, to continue to have the greatest country.
Amen.
And I want to thank I want to thank Senator Barrow for hosting this. Mayor, thank you very much for being here and continuing to lead our fantastic city. And in closing, I do have a gift here. So we had a flag that was flown over the United States Capitol. So just to read it real quick, this flag was flown over the Capitol of the United States at our request, in the honor of the service and leadership of Senator Regina Barrow to the people of the 15th Senatorial District of Louisiana. Senator, so thank you, but I want to remind you, this is for all of you. So, thank you. All right. You bet. So, you taking it?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you very much, Congressman. Let's give him another hand of applause. The one thing I can say about this congressman, because I know this firsthand, is he is very hands-on. When you call him, he calls you back himself most of the time. He does have his assistant here, Mr. Tom Sawyer. Hey, Tom. I'm sorry, Peter Sawyer. Paul, Lord, I was thinking of the book initially. Paul Sawyer, and as well as I know him. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much, Congressman, for availing yourself and coming out to participate in this very important event and to highlight the importance of our flag, that we must never forget why we are here and those who have fought to keep us free. And with that said, I'm going to ask my very good friend, the mayor, to come up and give us greetings. I'm so glad to see her. Thank you, Mayor, for stopping by today. I know she had a very tight schedule.
Thank you, Senator Barrow, and thank you, Congressman Graves, for that inspiring message. And to all of our military who are gathered here today, we honor you. We thank you for your service and your commitment to us. You know, as I was thinking about Senator Barrow's celebration of Flag Day, Pastor, I thought about how she started this 4 years ago. Flag Day, your ceremony.
The parade 4 years ago, the ceremony 12.
Okay, 12 years ago she started the ceremony to bring light around Flag Day. And so as I was thinking about Flag Day, and I was thinking about the comments that the congressman made, and of course our students in school start their day regularly with giving a pledge of allegiance to the flag. And I think it's very important that whenever they do it, whenever we do it, that we remember what those words say. Those words are very powerful words. Those words represent a lot about the embodiment of the United States of America and what it stands for. And so I close with the words liberty and justice for all, because I believe that as it is part of our Pledge of Allegiance, that it is certainly part that we should continue to strive for, as our military does on a regular basis, and as we as citizens do. It is certainly important that we advocate for everybody unequivocally, wherever they are, whatever the circumstance or situation. That is the embodiment, that is what America stands for, and that is what makes us unique and great apart from any other nation or country. So thank you so much, Senator Barrow, for bringing this to our attention once again and using it as a tool to educate our community. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mayor Broom. If I'm not incorrect, I think you're wearing a red stick, Mayor Broom. I think that's so awesome. I would like to take personal privilege to publicly acknowledge our mayor for her leadership during this time. Sometimes it's very trying, and I've been observing you in committee meetings and in press briefings, and just the other day when we had the flood event, I was so moved and so proud at your ability to continue to provide liberty and justice for the people of this parish and our city. And for that, I'm extremely proud and grateful for your service. At this time, we would like to invite the Louisiana Women's Veterans to come provide us an educational opportunity for the history of Flag Day.
Good afternoon. We are Lady Women Veterans of Louisiana. The flag folding ceremony represents the same religious principles on which our country was originally founded. The portion of the flag denoting honor is the canton of blue containing the stars, representing the states our veterans served in uniform. The canton field of blue dresses from left to right and is inverted when draped as a pall on a casket of a veteran who has served our country in uniform. In the Armed Forces of the United States, at the ceremony of retreat, the flag is lowered, folded in a triangle, and kept under watch throughout the night as a tribute to our nation's honored dead. The next morning it is brought out, and at the ceremony of reveille, run aloft as a symbol of our belief in the resurrection of the body. The first fold of our flag is a symbol of life. The second fold is a symbol of our belief in the eternal life. The third fold is made in honor and remembrance of the veteran departing our ranks who gave a portion of life for the defense of our country to attain a peace throughout the world. The fourth fold represents our weaker nature, for as American citizens trusting in God, it is to Him we turn in times of peace as well as in times of war for His divine guidance. The fifth fold is a tribute to our country, for in the words of Stephen Decatur, our country in dealing with other countries, may she always be right, but it is still our country, right or wrong. The sixth fold is for where our hearts lie. It is with our heart that we pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The seventh fold is a tribute to our armed forces, for it is through the armed forces that we protect our country and our flag against her enemies, whether they are found within or without the boundaries of our republic. The eighth fold is a tribute to the one who entered into the valley of the shadow of death, that we might see the light of day, and to honor Mother, for whom it flies on Mother's Day. The ninth fold is a tribute to womanhood, for it has been through their faith, love, loyalty, and devotion that the character of men and women who have made this country great have been molded. The 10th fold is a tribute to Father, for he too has given his sons and daughters for the defense of our country since they were first born. The 11th fold, in the eyes of the Hebrew citizen, represents the lower portion of the seal of the King of David and King Solomon, and glorifies in their eyes the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The 12th fold, in the eyes of the Christian citizen, represents an emblem of eternity and glorifies in their eyes God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. When the flag is completely folded, the stars are uppermost, reminding us of our national motto, "In God We Trust." After the flag is completely folded and tucked, it takes on the appearance of a cocked hat, ever reminding us of the soldiers who served under General George Washington and the sailors and Marines who served under Captain John Paul Jones, who were followed by their comrades and shipmates in the armed forces of the United States, preserving for us the right, privileges, and freedoms we enjoy today.
And each flag that is presented to honorably discharged veteran at its funeral is presented in this manner.
Senator Barrow, Louisiana Women Veterans, LWV, thanks you for the honor and privilege.
What a moving act of service and opportunity for us to learn. Thank you, women's veterans, so kindly for your time and impartation of knowledge to us. So are we ready for some entertainment at this time? We would like Charlie's King Kid Bell Choir to come forth and provide us with their presentation.
I want to thank our congressman for being here. I know he has a very busy schedule as well, but at this time I would like to ask him, and I know, let's see, Don Collins is here from the school board. Oh, Miss Brenda Jackson is here from Baker City Council. Come up so everybody can see you guys. Do I have any other elected officials in the audience? Okay, I'm trying to make sure I'm not missing anybody. I just want to thank these elected officials who took out the time to come and celebrate with us. And I can say something about each one of them because they are all dynamic. One thing I will say about Congressman Grave is that he does work across party lines. He is not a part of the divisiveness that we may see in Washington. He's trying to bring peace all the time there and trying to definitely work with, definitely I know he's working with our other congressional members. And so I just want to say thank you again. I saw him Friday night at the seniors prom night. Man, yes, he was sharp too, guys. And we had a lot of fun. Those seniors can really dance. And Don Collins, who actually is a part of our school board system, Someone asked me, why is it so important to have the children engaged? You know, we have to make sure that they are learning our history. And you gave a very good analogy and an overview that we need to make sure it's maintained throughout the years, and that our children understand that while we are free, it wasn't priceless. It came with a great price tag for us to celebrate this freedom. And then Miss Brenda G. Jackson, all the way from the great city of Baker. She works tirelessly in the city of Baker, trying to ensure, number one, helping the citizens come back after the flood. I think that's her number one goal, is bringing back the city after the flood. And so will y'all just please join me in giving them a hand of applause and being here today. On a Sunday afternoon, they could have been anywhere else, but they're here celebrating our flag with us. And so again, I want to say thank you. I want to thank you for being here, and thank you for continuing to help me keep the message out there about the importance of our freedom and our great flag.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for doing this.
Yeah. Y'all want to say something?
I was just saying thank you so much for doing this each year. It's always a pleasure. It is always such a heartfelt event, and it is very important, as everyone has already said, that we remember and never forget our history.
Amen.
Thank you, Senator Barrow. As a retired educator, early childhood education, I'm honored when I'm invited, as well as when I see events such like this. I believe in educating and empowering the citizens of this country. And once again, thank you for extending the invitation. And if I can help you, feel free to contact me.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so very much once again. The president has declared this week as National Flag Week. And so on the table, we're going to give you suggestions of things that you can do all week long to celebrate our flag as well as our soldiers. But in addition to that, we are going to provide additional, is that information out there? Hopefully I brought it inside. If not, it may be in my car. But I want to make sure that we celebrate the flag all week long and we remember the importance of our flag. Now, I have to tell you, we have never done the importance of the fold of the flag. And that was so significant to me this year. Where are my women veterans? Where, okay. Miss Anna Sanders and her group. Man, that was so significant. You just have no idea what that did for me. Thank you so much for sharing that. So I don't know what's next on the program, but I know I'm finished. And also, we have declared at the state senate or with the Louisiana legislature this as Flag Week as well. So we're going to have that posted on social media. I'm going to ask if you have a social media page that's starting with today that you highlight every day for the next 7 days, something regarding our flag or our soldiers. Let them know how important they are to us and that we do appreciate them. Thank you.
On Sunday, of course, which is today, we've had the program, which is the kickoff of our Flag Week celebration. On Monday, Senator Barrow has designated that as Hang Your Flag Proudly Day for activities throughout the week. On Tuesday, Highlight a Soldier on Social Media Day. On Wednesday, decorate something in your home or office red, white, and blue. On Thursday is an opportunity for you to treat a soldier to lunch. So I think that's a really good opportunity. And on Friday, which is the actual Flag Day on June 14th, we're asking you to dress patriotically. And on Saturday, you're offered an opportunity to make a donation to a military nonprofit organization. And on Sunday, please recognize members that are in your churches and congregations that are military. Take time to recognize them. So every year, since I've been involved in Flag Day, there's always a candle lighting ceremony. And this year, I'd like to invite Mrs. Alice Daniel, who is a Gold Star mom, to come lead us in the candle lighting ceremony, please.
When you've lost a child in the military, to see people honor the flag and the soldiers and the Marines and the sailors and the Coast Guard, it means so much to a mother. It really does. I think a mother's greatest fear is that her child is going to be forgotten. And y'all have remembered my child today. Thank you. I'm going to ask you all to say one time, Staff Sergeant Austin Daniel.
Staff Sergeant Austin Daniel.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. What do we, well, I guess I'm supposed to tell a little bit about the Gold Stars. Gold Star Mothers was founded by Congressional Act in 1928, World War I, and there was a practice of if you had someone serving in the military overseas, you hung a blue star in your window, and if a star for each person in your family who was serving overseas. And then if you lost someone serving overseas, your star changed to gold. And that's how people knew what families were going through at the time. And it's a practice that continues through today. We have probably the greatest Blue Star Moms group in the country here in Baton Rouge. They do incredible things to take care of us Gold Star moms. Just last week was the flag planting ceremony. I was actually in D.C., so I missed it this year, but I was at Arlington, which once is enough. That was probably the most emotional thing I've ever sat through. The other people that I would really like to thank for my sons, I also have a son that was in the Marine Corps who's very healthy and safe and has 3 children and lives in Lafayette. But our Vietnam vets. Our Vietnam vets have done everything possible to ensure that our loved ones felt welcome, revered, honored, and appreciated when they come home. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And last but not least, probably our best friend in the legislature for our military is Senator Barrow. Thank you so much for everything you do for our returning veterans, for our active duty veterans, property taxes, this, that, and the other. Thank you so much. These families, they can hardly get by without it. So thank you, Senator.
Those that are in this circle that have family members or know of someone who they're symbolizing today, who has lost someone, who has paid the ultimate price, so that we can have freedom that we have. We come before you thanking you today. Lord, let not those sacrifices be in vain. Just as these candles have been lit, let this be the light in our hearts, that as we leave here, we share that light with others, that we go out and we show you to them through our love, through our giving, through our compassion. And let us not remember the sacrifices that have been made. We thank you for each and every person that is here. Let something that was said, something that was done, move on our hearts, that we don't leave here the way that we came. And we forever remember this, and we'll thank you for it. It's in your Son we pray. And everyone say it.
What went through your mind during the candle lighting ceremony?
Well, you know, as Senator Barrow noted, that ceremony is about us remembering those that are preserving our freedoms, and it really was the prayer, very powerful experience, remembering all of the sacrifice again. That's not just happened historically whenever we had the Declaration of Independence or had the Revolutionary War, but how what we have today needs to be preserved, and just very powerful experience today.
I think that's wonderful that they honor the flag. As a Louisiana Women Veterans, we present a lot of flags to the family members at their funerals, and we just wanted people to know what the meaning of each of the fold of the flag was, and we were glad that she gave us the opportunity to do this.
What went through your mind during the candle lighting ceremony?
It was a humbling experience, remembering those that have gone on, and we do serve at these funerals, so we know that they've gone on, and all these heroes that have served their country just so we can have freedom.
The flag means a lot to me. First of all, I was born on Flag Day. And so I've always had a special place in my heart. And then once I began to really recognize what the flag means to our country in terms of our identification and, you know, how everywhere you go when you see the U.S. flag, what it stands for, our freedom of who we are and what is, you know, how I identify us as a country means a lot to me.
I see you've got a lot of young people here. Why is it important that young people learn about the flag?
Well, we must maintain and they must understand our history and how it all came about and why it's important and how we continue that going forward. And so the way that we do that is that we teach them young and we teach them early about the significance of the flag and why it's so important.
You've picked a significant historical location for this event. Tell us about that.
I mean, the USS Kidd, I mean, hey, there could not have been a better place to have an event of this magnitude where we are celebrating, again, our soldiers and the magnitude of what they have done here, right here, in this particular place in terms of our freedom. So, again, I mean, I couldn't have chosen a better place.
When Flag Day is over, what would you like people to keep in mind 52 weeks of the year?
That Flag Week is 1 week out of the year, but we must maintain the flag and its importance every day. And so this week I am going to give people ideas or suggestions of what they can do to commemorate the flag, but I want people to know that we need to celebrate our flag every day. The United States of America is the greatest country on earth, and we need to know that we live in the best place in the world.